Most people dream about becoming stronger, fitter, and more confident, but very few actually achieve it. Why? Because they do exactly what everyone else does. They follow the crowd, copy routines, and expect uncommon results from common effort. But the truth is, if you want to reach uncommon levels of success, you have to do what the 99% are not doing. You must think differently, train differently, and live differently. The journey to greatness in the gym isn't about luck. It's about mindset, faith, and relentless discipline. When the 99% quit, you push harder. When they rest too long, you rise earlier. When they chase comfort, you chase growth. Because legends are not built in moments of motivation. They're built in moments of discipline. Every drop of sweat, every rep, every early morning and late night grind, that's where champions are made. The 1% are not superhuman, they're just unshakably consistent. The 99% of people wake up every day with no real sense of direction. They hit the snooze button, roll over, and tell themselves they'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. The 1% understand that how you start your morning shapes everything that follows. They rise early, not because they're forced to, but because they've trained their minds to win the first battle of the day. When you wake up with purpose, you take control before the world has a chance to control you. Each morning is a new test of discipline. It's easy to stay in bed, to let comfort whisper, just a few more minutes. But every time you give in, you're teaching yourself to choose weakness over strength. The 1% don't allow that. They get up even when it's dark, even when it's cold, even when their body wants rest. Because they know the first victory of the day is getting up with intention. The difference isn't in energy, it's in mindset. Both the lazy and the driven feel tired in the morning. The difference is that the driven move anyway. They understand that purpose doesn't come after comfort, it comes after action. When you move with purpose, energy follows. Motivation is born from movement, not the other way around. When the 1% open their eyes, they think about growth. They think about the goals that need to be attacked, not the comfort that needs to be protected. They pray, they stretch, they breathe, and they plan. Every single action is rooted in awareness. They don't let the day decide how they'll feel, they decide it first. They know the morning is a battlefield of the mind. Distractions will come, messages, social media, noise, but they choose silence first. They use that silence to reconnect with themselves, to remind their soul why they started. In that quiet, they build focus that most people never find all day long. The 99% wake up reacting to life, the 1% wake up creating it. They don't wait for the day to give them something, they go and take it. Purpose doesn't fall from the sky, it's built by consistent morning decisions. You can't command greatness if you can't even command your own mornings. Purposeful mornings lead to powerful lives. The small routines, drinking water, praying, stretching, writing goals, might seem simple, but they are bricks in the wall of success. Each morning, done right, is a step forward toward the physique, the mindset, and the strength you're chasing. When you start your day intentionally, it changes how you train. You enter the gym not just to lift weights, but to lift yourself to a higher standard. You stop showing up out of habit and start showing up out of hunger. The 1% train because they made the decision hours before most even woke up. There will be days when you don't want to rise early, days when the alarm feels heavier than any dumbbell. But it's in those mornings where champions are made. The days you don't feel like showing up are the days that separate you from the crowd. That's when you prove to yourself you're built different. The truth is, waking up with purpose isn't about time, it's about commitment. Whether it's 4 a.m. or 8 a.m., what matters is what you do once you're up. The 1% use those first hours to plant seeds of success, while others are still asleep in their comfort zones. Every sunrise is a message. You've been given another chance to grow stronger, and those who take it, they're the ones who rise above the rest. Anyone can train when they feel inspired. Anyone can go hard in the gym when the music hits right, when the mirror reflection looks good, or when energy levels are high. But true strength isn't built on motivation, it's built on discipline. The 1% understand that greatness begins when the feeling fades. They don't wait for the mood to be perfect. They act regardless. When their mind says rest, their purpose says go. That's the difference between average and exceptional. Most people quit when they're tired, but the 1% push when they're tired. They know that fatigue is not a stop sign. It's a signal that growth is coming. When the body wants comfort, the soul demands progress. Every rep beyond exhaustion builds a layer of resilience that no comfort ever could. That's where character is formed, in the moments you choose to move when everything inside you says stop. The gym is not just a place to build muscles, it's a place to train your willpower. Every session is a fight between your excuses and your goals. The 99% lose that fight because they wait for motivation to rescue them. The 1% don't wait to feel ready, they move and readiness follows. They've mastered the art of showing up no matter how they feel. When the rain falls, when the day gets long, when pain hits hard, that's when most people disappear. But the 1% stay. They train when the world says it's not the right time, because they know every skipped day delays the victory they've been praying for. Every missed workout is a stolen opportunity to prove that they are stronger than their emotions. The truth is, emotions are temporary, but results are permanent. Pain fades, soreness passes, but the reward of consistency stays. Every day you train tired, you build the habit of pushing through life's discomforts. And if you can conquer your laziness in the gym, you can conquer it anywhere, in business, in studies, in every challenge life throws your way. When the 1% walk into the gym, they carry a different energy. They're not there to compete with others, they're there to compete with yesterday's version of themselves. They see the weights as tests, not toys. Every lift is a lesson in endurance, patience, and self-control. Their focus isn't on feeling good, it's on becoming unbreakable. They're unsatisfied for 5 minutes today. That's the mindset that keeps them lean, sharp, and focused when everyone else is dragging through life. Discipline with food also affects performance in the gym. When you eat clean, your body responds clean. You recover faster, lift stronger, and think clearer. You stop feeling bloated or tired. You start feeling alive. The 1% don't depend on caffeine or sugar for energy. They get their drive from consistency. They know that what they eat shows up in how they train. Even when others mock their choices or call them too strict, the 1% stay committed. They understand that people who mock discipline are simply defending their own lack of it. They know the results will silence every doubt. They've accepted that being different is the price of being exceptional. While the world celebrates taste, they celebrate transformation. Their relationship with food is simple, fuel, not feelings. They are not slaves to cravings because they've taught their mind who's in charge. Each meal becomes an act of respect toward their body, the same body that carries them through every rep, every sweat, every challenge. To them, eating right is not restriction, it's gratitude for the gift of strength. In the end, eating for purpose builds more than muscle, it builds mastery. It's proof that you can control yourself when no one's watching. And that control is what separates the 1% from everyone else. They've learned that success isn't built in the gym alone. It's built in the quiet moments at the dinner table, where they choose discipline over desire again and again. Most people walk into the gym and guess their progress. They lift without a plan, eat without tracking, and expect results without measuring them. But the 1% know that you cannot improve what you don't measure. They treat every workout, every rep, and every meal as data. They don't guess, they record. Because progress is not about random effort, it's about strategic growth. The moment you start tracking your journey, you start controlling your destiny. The 99% think writing things down is unnecessary. They believe they can remember what they did last time, but the truth is, memory fades and effort becomes inconsistent. The 1% keep a record how many sets they lifted, how many reps they performed, what they ate, how they felt. This record is their mirror of progress. It keeps them honest and focused. They can look back and see how far they've come, and that reminder fuels them to push even harder. When you track your workouts, every session becomes a challenge to outdo yourself. The 1% walk into the gym with a mission to beat yesterday's numbers. If they lifted 100 kilos for 8 reps last time, they aim for 9 this time. If they ran 5 kilometers before, they aim for 5. 2 now? Small improvements add up to massive transformation. The discipline to measure keeps them growing when others plateau. Tracking doesn't just show progress, it exposes weakness. The 1% use numbers to identify where they're falling short. Maybe their bench press isn't increasing, or their recovery is slow. Instead of ignoring it, they analyze it. They don't complain, they correct. Every piece of data is feedback, and feedback is power. That's how they keep evolving while others remain stuck in the same cycle. The 99% avoid tracking because it makes them accountable. When you write things down, you can't hide from your own habits. It reveals truth, how often you skip, how much you actually eat, how little effort you sometimes give. But the 1% welcome that truth. They'd rather face discomfort than live in denial, because the truth hurts once, but excuses hurt forever. Keeping track builds consistency. The 1% don't rely on motivation, they rely on numbers. Their progress log becomes a roadmap, showing them what works and what doesn't. They no longer chase random programs or trendy diets. They have proof of what gets results for them personally. Their focus is sharp because their process is structured. That structure keeps them moving forward when others drift aimlessly. Every rep and every note written is a promise to themselves. It's a form of discipline that keeps them grounded. They look back at their old logs and realize that their current strength was once a dream. That realization is humbling and empowering at the same time. It reminds them that growth is not luck, it's recorded effort, repeated daily. When you start tracking, you start respecting your time. You stop wasting energy on guesswork. The 1% treat their fitness like a project. Every project needs data, progress reports, and evaluation. They review their results weekly, make adjustments, and keep going. They understand that success is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Over time, tracking becomes a form of motivation. Seeing how much weight you've added, how much fat you've lost, or how many days you've stayed consistent gives a powerful sense of achievement. It turns discipline into reward. The 1% don't need others to validate them. Their progress sheet is the proof. It tells a story of effort, growth, and victory written in numbers. The habit of tracking also translates beyond the gym. It teaches attention to detail, patience, and accountability in life. The 1% who track their fitness also track their goals, their income, their habits. They live with intention, because they've learned that what gets measured gets mastered, and mastery is what separates the committed from the comfortable. Most people fail in their fitness journey not because they don't have the ability, but because they don't have the right people around them. The 99% surround themselves with those who accept excuses, who tell them it's okay to skip, and who make laziness look normal. But the 1% are different. They understand that environment is everything. They choose to be around people who challenge them, who push them beyond their comfort zone, who won't let them settle for average. They know that iron sharpens iron, and weak company dulls the edge of ambition. When you train alone in silence, you can go far, but when you train with the right people, you can go further. The 1% build circles of accountability, people who don't just cheer for them, but also correct them. They train with partners who refuse to let them quit mid-set, who remind them of their goals when their mind starts to drift. This kind of environment doesn't just build the body, it strengthens the mind. It creates a culture where discipline becomes normal and excellence becomes expected. The 99% fear judgment, but the 1% welcome accountability. They know that a good partner or coach will call them out when they're slacking. That kind of honesty may sting, but it's priceless. It keeps them aligned with their purpose. They don't take correction as criticism, they take it as guidance. Because they know that growth requires feedback and feedback requires humility. When you surround yourself with average thinkers, your potential shrinks. But when you surround yourself with driven individuals, your standards rise automatically. The 1% know that energy is contagious. If you sit among the lazy, you become lazy. But if you sit among the focused, you start to mirror their focus. That's why they choose training partners who are consistent, hungry, and disciplined. Their circle doesn't let comfort win. Sometimes accountability isn't just about training harder, it's about staying true to the lifestyle. The right people will remind you to eat clean, to sleep enough, to keep your goals alive when life gets tough. They become your mirror, reflecting your potential when you forget who you are. The 1% keep people around who remind them not just of what they want to achieve, but why they started in the first place. The 99% think they can do it all alone, but even the strongest need support. The 1% are humble enough to learn from others. They seek advice, ask questions, and observe those who've already achieved what they're after. They don't let pride block progress. They know that wisdom comes from walking beside people who have already faced the battles they're fighting now. Every person in your circle either adds energy or takes it away. The 1% guard their environment the way a warrior guards his sword. They cut off negativity, laziness, and doubt. They don't entertain people who laugh at discipline or make fun of focus. Their circle is built on mutual respect, shared goals, and a burning desire to grow. Accountability partners also bring out your hidden strength. When someone's watching your final set, you push harder. When someone's counting your reps, you don't stop early. That pressure becomes fuel. The 1% understand that sometimes the presence of the right person makes you perform beyond what you thought was possible. Alone, you might stop at 10, but with the right partner, you'll go for 12. There are moments when motivation fades, when the fire feels weak and the path seems long. That's when the right people become your anchor. They pull you back on track. They remind you of your vision, your goals, and the progress you've already made. They refuse to let you fall into the trap of comfort. They see your potential even when you don't. In the end, the 1% understand that accountability is not control, it's support. It's the invisible force that keeps your discipline alive when your motivation dies. The right company doesn't just help you lift heavier weights, it helps you carry heavier burdens, and that's what makes the 1% unstoppable. They build themselves, but they never build alone. The difference between the 99% and the 1% is that most people lie to themselves about their progress. They want results, but they don't want to face the truth about their habits. They skip workouts and convince themselves it doesn't matter. They eat without discipline and blame slow metabolism, but the 1% are brutally honest. They record everything. Every rep, every meal, every hour of sleep, all noted with precision. They don't hide from their flaws, they track them to fix them. When you track your progress, you start seeing patterns. You realize that the days you trained half-heartedly led to slower growth. You notice how your energy changes based on sleep and nutrition. The 1% know that progress without data is just guessing. They don't leave their transformation to chance. They build it on numbers and reflection. Every week, they look back and ask, what did I do right? What needs work? That's how they grow, not through perfection, but through awareness. Ego is the enemy of truth. Most people lift for attention, not for growth. They chase heavy weights to impress others, but forget that form builds strength, not showmanship. The 1% track form, not followers. They don't care who's watching. Their focus stays locked on improvement, not validation. They understand that ego wants fast results, but discipline wants lasting results. So they choose honesty over pride, even if it means facing uncomfortable truths. The 1% also track their mental and emotional state. They know a distracted mind weakens performance. So they write down how they feel before and after workouts. They observe how stress affects energy and how gratitude affects performance. This awareness helps them train smarter, not harder. They don't let emotions dictate effort. Instead, they use reflection to control their emotions and bring focus to every rep. Tracking progress also kills excuses. When you have a written record of your effort, you can't hide behind stories. You can't say, I've been working hard, if your journal shows inconsistency. The 1% use their logs as mirrors, honest reflections that expose weakness and highlight growth. They use data to destroy denial. That's why they improve faster than others, because they measure reality, not imagination. Most people fear tracking because it reveals the truth, but the 1% embrace it because truth builds transformation. They know that every honest record, even the ones showing failure, brings them closer to success. They don't judge themselves for bad days. They use them to make better ones. For them, progress isn't about perfection, it's about direction. They move forward one small, measured step at a time. The 1% see progress as a promise to themselves. When they write down goals, they hold themselves accountable. That notebook or digital tracker becomes a silent witness to their journey. It doesn't flatter or forgive, it reminds. It shows how far they've come and how much further they can go. And when motivation fades, those pages become proof that consistency pays off. Tracking also helps the 1% stay humble. It reminds them that growth takes time. They look back at where they started and see how every small effort added up. That reflection keeps them grateful. They don't take progress for granted because they know every number represents sacrifice, every improvement represents patience. This humility keeps their ego in check and their vision clear. Even in failure, the 1% find fuel. If the numbers don't move up, they don't get discouraged, they get curious. They ask what needs to change instead of why me. They adjust their approach, tweak their nutrition, refine their form. They understand that success is built through correction, not comfort. Each setback becomes information that leads to evolution. At the end of the day, the 1% understand that tracking is not just about fitness, it's about character. It teaches honesty, discipline, and responsibility. It builds trust between effort and outcome. They know that anyone can dream, but only those who measure can manifest. That's why they rise above the crowd, because they do what the 99% are not doing. They stay real with themselves. Before a single weight is lifted, the 1% know that the real battle begins in the mind. They understand that the body only follows the commands of the brain, and if the mind is weak, the body will always quit early. Most people walk into the gym without preparing their thoughts. They let distractions, doubts, and fears take over before the first rep even begins. But the 1% enter with focus. They clear their thoughts, set their intentions, and remind themselves why they're here, to grow, not to compare. The 99% rely on hype and loud music to get motivated, but the 1% build silence into strength. They don't need external noise to push them. They generate power from within. They visualize every movement before they perform it. They see themselves completing every set, pushing past fatigue and finishing strong. This mental rehearsal programs the body to respond. By the time they touch the weight, their mind has already conquered it. Mental training is what separates temporary results from lasting transformation. The 1% know that motivation comes and goes, but mental discipline lasts forever. They train their minds to stay calm when the workout gets hard, to stay patient when progress slows, and to stay consistent when results take time. They don't panic when challenges appear. They embrace them as part of the process. This mindset keeps them steady when others break down. The 1% also practice self-talk that builds, not destroys. They don't say, "I can't," or "I'm tired." They replace those words with power. "I'm capable," "I'm stronger," "I'm blessed to move." They understand that the words they repeat shape the energy they bring. The 99% use their mouths to complain. The 1% use theirs to command. Every phrase becomes fuel. Every thought becomes action. They also guard their minds from negativity outside the gym. They don't entertain envy, gossip, or self-doubt. They understand that mental garbage weakens focus and drains strength. So they feed their minds with positivity, knowledge, and faith. They listen to reminders that build patience, humility, and courage, because they know a clean mind builds a powerful body. What you think during the day shows up in your strength at night. When the 1% face pain during training, they don't let fear take over. They see pain as a teacher, not a punishment. They know discomfort is a sign of growth, not destruction. Their mind doesn't say, "Stop." It says, "Endure." They've trained themselves to recognize that temporary struggle leads to lasting strength. Where the 99% see exhaustion as an end, the 1% see it as proof that they're evolving. Patience is another weapon of the 1%. They know that the mind must learn to wait while the body builds. Most people destroy their progress by rushing. They crave instant change, and when they don't see it, they quit. But the 1% train their minds to love the slow progress. They focus on consistency over speed. They understand that every great transformation starts invisible, hidden beneath discipline and time. The 1% also understand that faith strengthens the mind like nothing else. Before every workout, they remind themselves that strength is a gift. They ask for focus, energy, and safety. This connection with the Creator gives them peace and determination. They don't depend on luck or superstition. They depend on purpose and prayer. Their mental strength is not pride, it's reliance on the one who gave them ability. Even outside the gym, the 1% continue to train their mindset. They apply the same focus in their work, studies, and life. They know that discipline is not something you switch on and off. It's who you become. They carry the lessons of consistency, patience, and gratitude everywhere. For them, mental toughness isn't just about lifting weights. It's about lifting standards. When fatigue hits and motivation fades, the 1% don't need reminders. Their mind has already been trained to move forward. They know that the gym doesn't just build muscles, it builds mindsets. Every rep, every challenge, every drop of sweat strengthens their inner world. And that's why they keep winning, because they've mastered the part of training that the 99% ignore, the power of the mind. Motivation is the spark that gets you started, but discipline is the fire that keeps you going. The 99% wait to feel motivated before they act, but the 1% act regardless of how they feel. They know that feelings change every day, but commitment must remain the same. They don't rely on emotion, they rely on structure. Their success doesn't come from moments of excitement, but from habits that never break. When motivation dies, discipline takes the wheel and drives them forward. The 1% treat training like a daily responsibility, not a passing hobby. They show up whether they're tired, busy, or uninspired. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" They ask, "What needs to be done today?" That question shifts everything, because when you stop waiting for motivation and start following a plan, progress becomes automatic. The 99% stop when they're not in the mood. But the 1% understand that moods don't build muscle, consistency does. There are mornings when even the 1% feel weak, when the bed feels heavier than the weights. But they push through because they've trained their minds to respect their goals. They remind themselves of their purpose and the person they want to become. They know that every skipped workout weakens not just the body, but also the mind. So they move forward one disciplined step at a time until motion becomes momentum. The 1% understand that motivation is a guest, but discipline is a resident. You can't control when motivation visits, but you can control when you act. They build routines that don't depend on inspiration. Their training, meals, and rest are scheduled with precision. This removes the need for decision making, which is where most people fail. They don't waste time convincing themselves to work. They just do it because it's part of who they are. When motivation fades, the 99% search for new excitement, new routines, new supplements, new influencers. But the 1% stay committed to the basics. They repeat the same movements, perfect their form, and master the fundamentals. They understand that greatness comes from doing simple things with relentless consistency. They don't need new, they need discipline. That's why they rise while others restart again and again. The 1% also understand that discipline is a form of self-respect. It's the ability to keep promises made to yourself. When they commit to a plan, they treat it as sacred. They don't break it for excuses, because they know that every time you skip what you said you'd do, you weaken your trust in yourself. And when you stop trusting yourself, progress dies. Discipline restores that trust. It proves that your word has power. When the 99% get tired, they rest too long and lose rhythm. But the 1% manage fatigue with wisdom. They rest to recover, not to retreat. They take breaks strategically, not emotionally. They know that consistency doesn't mean never resting. It means never quitting. Even when they pause, their mindset stays active, their focus remains sharp, and their plan stays alive. The 1% understand that motivation burns out because it's built on excitement. Discipline burns forever because it's built on purpose. They know why they started, and that why keeps them strong when energy runs low. Their purpose isn't to impress anyone. It's to honor their commitment and become the best version of themselves. This purpose makes their effort sacred and their persistence unbreakable. They also remind themselves that every day they show up without motivation, they're winning a silent battle. That's the day when true growth happens. Because every rep done without inspiration builds mental endurance. The 1% don't just train their muscles on those days. They train their willpower. That's the unseen strength that separates them from everyone else. In the end, the 1% understand that success belongs to those who move even when the excitement dies. They don't chase the feeling of motivation, they chase mastery. Their strength comes not from inspiration, but from intention. They wake up, show up, and follow up, no matter what. And that's what the 99% will never understand. The greatest victories are won quietly on the days when no one feels like fighting, but the 1% fight anyway. The 1% never view fitness as a short-term goal or a quick transformation. They understand that true change takes years, not weeks. They see every workout as an investment, not an expense. They know that progress built slowly is progress built to last. The 99% chase instant results, trying to build in 1 month what takes patience and persistence to achieve. But the 1% move differently. They commit for life. They don't set deadlines for their discipline because they've accepted that fitness isn't a project, it's a lifestyle. Most people give up when they don't see visible results. They think if their muscles haven't grown or their weight hasn't dropped, it means nothing is working. But the 1% know that the invisible progress, stronger habits, better endurance, improved mindset, comes before the visible transformation. They celebrate consistency before results. They understand that before your body changes, your character must. So, they keep going when others stop, knowing that real transformation begins long before anyone can see it. The 99% approach fitness like a temporary challenge, something they do to fix a season of guilt or prove a point. But the 1% approach it as a duty, a form of care for the gift of health that Allah has given them. They treat their bodies like trusts, not toys. They train to maintain energy, focus, and strength for life, not to chase trends or attention. Their goal isn't to look good for a moment, it's to live strong for a lifetime. The 1% understand that long-term consistency requires long-term mindset. They don't rush, they embrace the process. They know that the same seed you plant today doesn't grow tomorrow. It needs time, nourishment, and patience. So they train today for results they might see next year. They don't get frustrated, they get focused. Every rep is a seed, every day is a chance to water it, and every year is a harvest. The 99% often quit when life gets busy. But the 1% make fitness part of their life rhythm. They plan around it like they plan around prayer. They don't find time, they make time, because they understand that health isn't optional, it's foundational. Without strength, even the best dreams remain unfinished. Their long-term mindset protects them from the distractions that destroy others. They stay steady, even when life tests them, because fitness for them is not about convenience, it's about commitment. For the 1%, progress isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. They don't expect every day to be perfect, every lift to be strong, or every meal to be clean, but they expect themselves to keep moving forward. When they fall, they get back up. When they fail, they learn. They understand that a single bad day doesn't define them, quitting does. So they forgive mistakes but never forget their mission. That's what keeps them unshakable. The 1% also learn to enjoy the journey instead of rushing the results. They find peace in progress. They don't obsess over numbers. They focus on effort. They enjoy the sweat, the soreness, the small victories that others overlook. They know that the journey itself builds more strength than the goal ever could. Their satisfaction comes from showing up every day, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. Over time, fitness becomes a form of worship for them, a way to honor their creator by caring for the body entrusted to them. They don't train out of vanity, but out of gratitude. Every heartbeat, every breath, every movement becomes a reminder of mercy. This connection gives their fitness meaning beyond muscles. It turns every rep into remembrance, every workout into discipline guided by faith. The 1% also understand that longevity means balance. They don't push so hard that they break. They build smartly so they can last. They train for strength, not just size, for endurance, not just aesthetics. They take care of their joints, their sleep, and their nutrition. They think decades ahead, not just days. Because the goal isn't to be fit for a photo, it's to be strong enough to live fully, serve longer, and inspire others through example. In time, the 1% realize that fitness is not just about the body. It's about building a legacy of discipline. They understand that how you treat your body reflects how you treat your blessings. They live with patience, purpose, and consistency. The gym becomes their classroom, where they learn humility, focus, and endurance. They've stopped chasing quick results because they've mastered what the 99% never understand. That real strength is not built in 30 days. It's built through a lifetime of faith, effort, and persistence. So today, make a decision. Stop training like the majority who only dream and start living like the minority who actually do. Build your body, but more importantly, build your character. Train with focus, rest with wisdom, and move with faith. Don't chase fast results, chase lifelong strength. Remember, the difference between the 99% and the 1% is not talent, genetics, or luck. It's the daily decision to stay disciplined when everyone else gives up. Do what the 99% are not doing, and your results will speak louder than your words ever could.